beautiful soul. Welcome to the Quantum Business Queen podcast. This podcast is a vortex for activating wealth, riches, and boss bitches. It is here that I teach multi-dimensional business. Our content will fall under 3 different categories: 5D quantum creation, 4D frequency alchemy, and the most potent 3D strategy. Every aspect of business that contributes to the creation of success is covered here. Plus, I will be personally interviewing the most amazing boss bitches that are at the forefront of the game, paving the way for money, magic, and magnetism in business. Let's get ready to activate all of that within you. Clinton, welcome to the Quantum Business Queen podcast. So we were just talking about how this journey started for you. Can you take us back to 2014 when this all kicked off? How did you start your journey in digital marketing?
Thanks for having me, Sarah. I actually started my marketing career at the end of 1998. I was doing traditional marketing. I was marketing for a shipping company, and I was doing all my marketing in Asia for them. So it started from traditional marketing. And then 2014, I decided I'm going to get into digital marketing just because people have moved on from traditional marketing in general. I then decided to do a diploma in digital marketing with an organization called DMI. They're based in Ireland. And that's where I got my diploma. So joined the Digital Marketing Institute for training, to do the actual courses. And the interesting part is I kept on wondering, because even back in 2014, digital marketing was really new, just in terms of, everything, like the whole spectrum of digital marketing. And, the lecturers were guys who were from well-known advertising agencies like Saatchi, for example. And I kept on wondering, where did they get all their experience from? Or, where did they learn all this? Because they pretty much would come in and we'd get taught from a manual which was supplied to them by the Digital Marketing Institute. That's what they're called. I eventually discovered, just talking to one of the lecturers, I said, so, how did you learn about digital marketing?
Yeah.
Where did you get your qualifications from?
Yeah.
And I heard it from more than one lecturer. I got told, well, we just watched a whole bunch of YouTube videos. So that's how we got our experience. So moving on from that, I thought, well, if these guys have no experience, then I could start my own digital marketing school.
Yeah.
I was in Cape Town at the time. I then launched a digital marketing school in New Zealand in 2014.
Yeah.
I wrote my own manual. It was like a 700-page manual on all the different aspects of digital marketing, Google Ads, SEO, social media. At the time, I was only covering Facebook and Instagram, and also email marketing.
Yeah.
So the fascinating thing was that I thought, well, what's the quickest way to get people signed up? So I gave out everybody that signed up for the course got a free iPad.
Yeah.
I had marketing managers from some of the biggest companies in Australasia sign up. And I was this person who'd written this manual, had all this head knowledge about digital marketing and zero experience.
Wow.
Knew a lot. And that's the common thing. There is a lot of in digital marketing. There are just so many people that know a lot. But when it gets to real experience, like day-to-day operating and doing stuff, that's where everybody falls flat.
So how did you get real experience? Eventually you shifted out of that.
So I shifted out of that, and I then joined an Australasian marketing agency at the time called Online Asset Partners. They had offices in Melbourne at the time and also in New Zealand. And I then joined them, at the time specializing in SEO mainly. I thought I knew it all till I actually started doing real work in marketing. That's when you really discover everything that I knew from a theoretical point of view. I would say that 50% of theory was what I could really use.
Wow.
Because you're in digital marketing, specifically, if I look at SEO, if I look at Google Ads, the first thing is there are just so many different website platforms out there.
Yeah.
So I had to familiarize myself with every possible platform, because the agency that I then was working for worked like across the board. Like, it was guys who had Wix websites, WordPress websites, Magento websites, Umbraco websites, Shopify websites. The list goes on when it came to that. And then the same thing with software. So everything from software, I had to basically learn every piece of software that was out there used for SEO in particular.
Yeah.
So it was starting, you can learn a lot in theory, but guess what? You need to know the ins and outs. If you're doing, let's say, Google Ads and an SEO, you need to know it helps to know the technical aspects of everything from how a website works, how to actually work in the back end of a website. There's just so many different aspects. And that's where I spent the next close to 4 years, day to day, pretty much servicing about 70 clients a month on average.
And so did you teach yourself the technical aspects of digital marketing?
I was fortunate enough, in one of the directors was really passionate about SEO in particular.
Okay.
So it was like training ground for me. I was getting paid and I was being trained at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, which was amazing, because everything you do in marketing boils back down to just thinking logically about what you're doing.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, the one-on-ones of marketing.
Yeah. Amazing. And so then you evolved into what?
So I gathered more than enough experience working at that level for 4 years.
Yeah.
And then I exited out of there and decided, well, I don't need to do 70 clients anymore. And I started my company called SEO Websites. The reason why I started SEO Websites, one of the reasons, was purely because of, when it comes to, especially to SEM, search engine marketing, which is Google Ads. Well, Google Ads, I'll use Google as the search engine. Google Ads and SEO, for example. The reason why I started SEO Websites was because quite often websites get built without SEO in mind.
And how often do you see that?
All the time.
Okay, interesting.
It's literally, to this day, I cannot think of a company that actually builds websites with SEO in mind.
Okay.
To this day. The reason is web development companies are not digital marketing specialists.
Yeah.
They're there to build the website, but also, inside scoop, quite often you get the partnerships which happen between web development agencies and digital marketing agencies.
Okay.
So website agency A builds the website.
Yeah.
And guess what? You're going to pass over that website to digital marketing agency, where you get your kickback.
Yeah.
Because they're then going to do the digital marketing. And it was my constant frustration at the time that, working with so many clients, you'd get a new website and I'd be like, geez, could these guys not have done this better? This is missing. That's missing out of the website. And I, in fact, was told at one stage, like, you need to shut up and stop complaining about it, because these are the guys supplying work to us.
Right.
So there's this kickback between, it happens quite often in marketing. Digital marketing agencies who don't do website development will get an opportunity to build a website, that hand it over to their website development partner, and that's just how things roll. So I started SEO Websites because I wanted to not only specialize in Google Ads and SEO, but purely because I knew that if I'm building your website, it's built correctly from the start, it would save so many companies thousands of dollars. That they would have been spending, like fixing little technical issues, fixing things like the naming of your pages, like just little things which,
make a difference.
Yeah.
Amazing. And so then from there, you started building websites, you started doing SEO for other companies, and from then onwards, you've been in the technical aspect of digital marketing.
I've been in the technical aspect of digital marketing. I've also, most digital marketers out there have their own little projects going on whether they're doing e-commerce marketing for themselves, whether they're doing affiliate marketing. I got involved in all kinds of projects. I started doing horse supplements across Australasia. I got signed up by a company to do their marketing and decided, hey, can I be part of your team and I'll sell your products too? That was one of the things that I got involved in pre-COVID. I then also got signed up by, not allowed to mention their name, the biggest airline in New Zealand. They signed me up to head up their SEO in particular. And it's just that thing of, they're the perfect example of why the multi-channel approach is important in digital marketing.
Okay.
So these guys approached a number of marketing agencies. They were in trouble at the time. They focused purely on paid advertising.
Okay.
Because paid advertising was bringing in the money for them. And during the time that for years, they'd done so much paid advertising for their airline that they hadn't concentrated on SEO. And the end result is that same airline their online presence in their own country was only 15%.
Wow.
In comparison to guys like Skyscanner, for example. So, they were in trouble in terms of their online presence before COVID. And that's what happened. And then they contracted SEO websites to take over their SEO. And then COVID hit.
And then everyone is grounded.
And then it was
So can you tell us more about the multi-channel marketing approach when it comes to digital marketing?
It's and this is multi-channel approach is so important. Like, so often I hear people, social media, depending on your industry that you're in, is so powerful. But also, there are trends, and there are also just so many factors to take into consideration. So what I hear quite often in social media is, oh, but we were doing so well when we started. We were just killing it in social media, and then there's this quiet period. And it happens in social media. It happens actually in every channel.
And which channels are you referring to? If we're speaking to like business coaches and people who have service-based businesses online, which specific channels would you be referring to in terms of multi-channel marketing?
So let's take business coaches, for example. There's so many aspects that business coaches deal with in terms of, working with their clients. Everything from how they deal with their finances to cash flow to succession planning, for example. So if I take social media, for example, you have people out there that are actively looking for services like, let's say, succession planning, but they're not going into Facebook and typing in the word succession planning. They're going into Google or they're going into Bing, depending on their country, depending on which device they've actually bought. Because quite often, if I look at Bing, people sometimes buy a Microsoft computer and it automatically comes with that. So I found that quite often you get service-based go like, oh, we're doing well in social media and now it's gone quiet. The multi-channel approach is so important, and we do it in e-commerce and we do it in non-service based, purely because picture having one horse in a race and that horse is not performing well during the season. Whereas with the multi-channel approach, when you've got Google ads, when you've got SEO running, when you've got your email marketing campaigns going, when you've got social media and just social media alone, you could break out those channels too within social media. When you've got 5, 6 horses in the race and one isn't performing well.
So powerful.
It's so powerful because often the other channels will compensate for it.
Correct.
The same with Google ads and SEO. There's a thing quite often called banner blindness. Google ads could be doing great, but sometimes people start just automatically switching off from seeing ads or even block. The funniest thing is when I started my digital marketing school, the first question most people asked me was, can you teach me how to block ads popping up? That was the craziest thing. Like, you're here to learn about display marketing, but you're asking me how you can block,
The very
so
thing
I pretty
you're
much had
teaching
to I said, oh yeah, use this. You can use this Chrome extension. It's called Ad Blocker, because that was the first thing. So coming back to the multi-channel approach is that all channels are important, but if I took Google ads and SEO, Google ads can be performing well, and then all of a sudden, I wouldn't say all of a sudden, quite often people have this thing of banner blindness. They don't want to click on the first 3 ads anymore. They feel like, the business or the operation is trying to sell them something. So they go down to the SEO, which is the free listings in Google, and click on that. The good thing is that they both are really powerful. The one, for example, is an instant. You're up there instantly. The other one is long-term. Once you're in the top 3 for SEO, you're there long-term. Coming back to that multi-channel approach, we find that when you use that multi-channel approach, it just works so effectively purely because of, as I said, if social media isn't working great right now, they are still being found in SEO or it's just.
So tell people so I know a lot of business coaches, we focus mostly on paid Facebook and Instagram ads. You don't hear a lot of talk around SEO and Google ads, etc. So explain the difference when it comes to marketing with SEO versus something like Instagram and Facebook ads.
So the thing is, even within Instagram within Instagram, for example, you get Instagram SEO. So it's all based around what I would say. There is more intent behind the person searching for a service,
yes,
than just pushing out.
Correct. So that's the difference between SEO is you being
intent-based.
Intent-based.
So the same with Google ads. It's intent-based.
Yes.
Somebody types in, online business coach, and you want to be number 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why there is this big shift, depending on demographic and depending on who you're targeting, there is this strong shift towards TikTok.
Okay.
TikTok, everyone says, oh, TikTok's for kids.
Yeah.
But TikTok is way more powerful than Instagram and Facebook, purely because TikTok is also a search engine.
What do you mean by that?
People actually search within TikTok when they're looking for things.
Okay. Yeah.
Nobody does that in Facebook or Instagram.
Right.
And that's why it's become a really powerful platform, TikTok within itself.
Yeah. Okay, so you're saying SEO is you're putting yourself in front of people that have the intention to seek out a specific service, to where Instagram and Facebook, you're just pushing something, hoping that it lands in the right place.
Yeah, things have advanced so much in both Google I say Google ads, but let's call it search engine marketing. It's actually advanced so much. The software's advanced so much in these areas of search engine marketing. I'll say Google ads and SEO. Purely because we can, through the software, we already know the person typing in, let's say the person typing in business coach Melbourne, for example, we can immediately see in our system whether the person was just looking for information or whether it's an actual transactional keyword.
Wow.
So that's just a simple example. We know how much intent there is behind the person typing in, because the system basically scans Google and can see based on the people typing in that if it's actually led to a conversion or not.
That's amazing.
So that is the power over social media. Social media will target, the interests of the person, you can target the age group, the area, etc. But you don't know if the person, the thing is that within social media, you're pushing out to people, whereas in search engine marketing, people are coming to you with an intent to actually engage in your services.
Yeah, that's powerful. So this is why you're saying you should be across all of the channels, not just one.
You should be across all. I mean, just think about it. Let's say somebody decides to go on a social media fast for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not saying that happens every day, but it's a good thing. It's kind of like, that's why with traditional marketing back in the day, and that's the power behind everything in whether it's social media and search engine marketing, is back in the day you could have a billboard up and that would create awareness and but you didn't know how many people who saw the billboard was actually going to buy that can of Coke.
Of course. Yeah.
Whereas now we've got all these tools available to us, and we're able to target people who have seen an ad or who have signed, kind of added their, they wanted to engage in your service or they bought your digital product but they didn't check out. So there's just so many different aspects these days that you can use to target people, and that's why it's so powerful.
Wow. Amazing. And so why does it take so long for SEO? Because when you use paid advertisement, when you use Google ads and Facebook ads and whatever else, but it takes a long time to ramp up SEO. Why is that the case?
Because from day one, when the person's built their website, they haven't thought of SEO.
Okay.
And that was if they had all those building blocks in place.
Yeah.
It doesn't always take, for example, I deal with a lot of plastic surgeons.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take long to ramp up.
Okay.
Because all the content, for example, on those websites are extremely accurate, very specific.
Right.
These are things that Google look for. They're not just looking for a whole bunch of words. They're not looking for, there's just been a new Google algorithm which has come out last week. And it was once more reiterating the fact that they're trying to get owners of websites to have relevant content, answer the questions that people are looking for. Don't just have a whole bunch of salesy text on pages.
Yeah.
So SEO doesn't always it commonly takes long purely because of the fact that people haven't sat down when they've actually built their website and worked out exactly the quality of the content, the structure of that website. There's just so many there are over 200 factors involved in ranking for keywords in SEO, but they haven't even taken the top 10.
Wow.
So quite often when a new client comes on board, it's first having to audit their website for SEO. And then you're basically starting, like 2 steps back in order to go like 1 step forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so if you had to choose a favorite avenue of marketing, what would it be?
It's always going to be SEO.
Yeah.
Because SEO carries over Instagram SEO, TikTok SEO, podcast SEO. The list goes on.
Yeah.
Paid advertising is great, but you're only there as long as you're spending money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you have to have somebody maintaining your SEO consistently?
And that is the thing. There are ways you could do it yourself.
Yeah.
You have to keep on maintaining it.
Yeah.
Purely because if you're not, let's say you're in position 1 for Business Coach Melbourne, there's so many other people out there also doing that. So if you slow down with your marketing efforts for SEO, you will drop out of that first position.
Yeah. Okay. And you can see how many people are searching for those sorts of terms. So you can determine the potential clients based on the data.
Yeah. For a long time, look at in New Zealand, I was marketing a maternity clothing company. I had every product practically in the first 3 positions for 4 years straight.
Wow.
And they became really overconfident in their positions and what happens. And they were like, we're not doing SEO anymore.
Oh my gosh.
It was literally, this company was doing revenue from SEO alone was pulling in about $400,000 a month within New Zealand only.
Wow.
They weren't even interested in targeting Australia.
Yeah, they didn't need to.
Such a short period, overconfidence. We're at the top. We'll stay there forever. We've been doing this for so long.
Yeah.
Boom.
So they stopped the SEO.
Yeah.
Wow.
They just thought there'd be and all of a sudden the game changed. A company called Boohoo, an overseas company, came in out of nowhere, decided to target New Zealand, much more powerful website, much more what we call domain authority, quality of the website, and totally knocked them out of the top 3 positions overall for their products. And
what happened to them?
Revenue dropped drastically.
Yeah.
And they were forced then to go into paid advertising to then be in competition.
Wow.
So yeah, SEO is great for being there, but you've got to, once you're up there, it's good to maintain it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Amazing. So if people wanted to get in touch with you, what are you doing right now at the moment? How are you supporting people with marketing?
Marketing people predominantly in Australia and New Zealand. And basically businesses within Australia and New Zealand, but also a large number of these businesses are also marketing their services to the US, to the UK, and other countries.
Yeah.
So
you're right now at the moment, you have your own agency and you do marketing.
Do marketing, and I also partner with other marketing agencies. So I provide services to other marketing agencies around the country, but I'm also, I love teaching people.
Yeah.
because there are so many ways to kind of, I might need a bodyguard to say this. Okay, I'm about to get shot down, but this is the reality. Woo. Okay, it's probably the first time this is ever going to be said in a podcast.
Okay.
When you're an agency and you're signing up a client,
Yeah.
you may sign up the client for 3 months or 6 months.
Yeah.
Results can be, and it's not always the case, but in fact, I come from the years when contracts weren't even 3 or 6 months, they were 12 months.
Yeah.
So this is how it rolls. Sometimes an agency can look at an account and go, we can turn this around really quickly.
Okay.
But they're not going to.
Okay.
So what we're going to do right now is we're going to stagger these results. We're going to show progress every month so that by the time we get to the end of this contract, you're going to say, we're going to renew and continue.
Wow.
That is a common practice in digital marketing.
Wow.
I'm privileged to be able to just say whatever I want because, I don't get controlled by other agencies.
Yeah.
That is it. So I love teaching because sometimes, and quite often, you look at websites and you look at, the reason why the Google ads is not performing is because of this and that's on the website. Yeah. And sometimes it's the 101 things that get missed.
That turn the dial.
That it's different. There is no one shoe size fits all in marketing, in digital marketing.
Yeah.
Every website's different. Every website's been built differently, structured differently. The content is different.
Yeah.
So I love teaching. I consult also.
Yeah. Amazing. So if people wanted to get in touch with you, you build websites, you run SEO, you do Google ads.
Yeah.
What's your specialty at the moment?
My specialty that I focus on is, in inverted commas, the long-term SEO.
Yeah. Purely
because you can switch off those ads once you're right on top there, and you'll still be driving in leads.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. So if people wanted to get in touch with you to work with you, how would they do that?
They can do that through pretty much to go to my websites, SEO websites, .co.nz.
Yep.
Or they can just chat to you, Sarah.
Yeah.
But pretty much I don't work with anyone purely because I work with people where I know firstly that you're able to get results.
Yeah. And how do you determine that based on?
Brutally honest about whether or not, if I have to tell you need to go back to the drawing board, then it's not always
a match.
Yeah. When it comes to training, obviously I'll show you the A to Z of what to do with your website. But when it comes to if you're wanting to use my services, if I look at your website and I say, hold on, based on competition and everything, I will paint a very realistic, what's the word I'm looking for? Picture of what it's going to look like before you get results.
Amazing. And not a lot of, you said this to me before, that there's a lot of snake oil marketing people out there who promise the world and never get results.
That's the common thing, because often within agencies, you will get the business development managers going out there getting any old deals.
Okay.
So they'll grab whatever because they are making their money off the deals.
Yeah.
And then at ground level, you get the digital marketing specialists going like, whoa, okay.
Wow.
This client has been promised this, that, and the next thing. And you look at it and you're like, oh my goodness.
And you think that you won't.
Based on budget.
Yeah, you can't deliver that.
It's not going to be delivered and not going to happen. So.
And you see that happen a lot.
It happens quite often within agencies where business development managers haven't consulted with the digital marketing specialists.
Yeah.
It doesn't always happen.
Yeah.
But it's quite a common, for a long time, unfortunately, various aspects of digital marketing has been referred to as the second-hand car sales business.
Wow.
So,
and
how many times have you ever heard somebody say, oh, I've dealt with this agency and that agency?
Yeah.
And
And is that what sparked you on to start your own?
That's what sparked me on to start my own, pretty much.
Yeah. That, and you saw that websites weren't being built properly to support SEO.
Yeah. And in fact, the building of the websites is not really a passion of mine. It's just the fact that it's just so much easier when your website has been properly structured and planned initially. with Google Ads, SEO in mind. Not just that, user friendliness. It's just crazy how many I've seen websites that seriously, I'll tell you a little story. I was working for, well, this agency when it started out and back in New Zealand, and it was a charity. I won't mention who they are. And we were about to do their marketing for them. So we go along to the launch of their new website, and they'd spent $400,000 building their website.
$400,000.
Yeah.
People spend that much money.
400,000. And we sat there. There was web development agency came in, very renowned one. 10 of them sat down. One was taking notes. I counted around the room, and I didn't understand why they needed 10 people for the presentation of this website.
Yeah.
Because I actually thought maybe a few of them were just there to make coffee and tea for everybody.
Yeah.
And then they asked at the end of the presentation, does anybody have any questions? So it was this, website donations and everything and blah, blah, blah. And I said, can I ask a question? And they said, yeah, you can go ahead. And I said, I didn't see this website had so much information, which is great because they targeted, I don't know how many countries across the world. And I said, there's no search bar. How are people going to find things? Simple thing like that.
Wow.
And they said, oh no, that's coming in phase 2 of this website. We're talking a $400,000 website here.
Yeah.
And when they left, I was talking to the marketing manager for the charity.
Yeah.
And I said, for 400,000, you don't think? He said, no, that's in phase 2. And I'm like, it's not like you're telling me the $400,000 website, no search bar. He said, it's phase 2. And I said, so how much is that going to cost? And he said, well, they said to add the search bar ends an extra $50,000.
What? So were they taking these people for a ride?
The thing is that it's not about taking it for a ride. I've seen some crazy things.
Yeah.
It's pretty much return on investment.
Yeah.
I've dealt with companies where they spent like $250K on a website.
Yeah. But
every lead coming in is worth $25,000 to $30,000.
Yeah.
So I looked at that website and I thought, gee, the $450,000 website, which cost them in total, before they got to marketing.
Wow.
Right, before they got to SEO, before they got to anything else.
Wow.
That's what it cost them.
Oh my gosh.
It's seriously, as an agency, I'll never forget, we went back, we spent the next week looking at our retainer for marketing this company based on what these guys had actually paid for the
website.
For the websites within itself.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So moral of the story.
And just to add to that, the thing is that quite often, depending on the size of your business, when you have big corporations, a marketing manager of a big corporation will quite often go for a renowned top marketing agency to do their work, not based on results. Based on reputation, results is not always guaranteed.
Okay. Of course.
If trends are down for, shopping for camping chairs at the moment, it's down. Nothing's going to change that.
Yeah.
But the reason why marketing managers quite often of major corporations and also renowned businesses will engage in a reputable marketing agency so that if the sales don't happen, they can turn around and say,
it's not on them.
I used the best.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I used the best. So, as a marketing manager, that's who I went with.
Jeez.
The biggest reputable agencies are currently, there's just so many smaller agencies out there doing quality, great work too.
Yeah, of course.
But they don't often get the contracts purely because they're not big enough.
Yep. Wow, it's a crazy world. So how would you know? How would you know if you're just a one-man show, you're a business coach, how would you know if you're getting, aligning with the right agency or the right digital marketing company?
Firstly, if I was just Joe Soap out there looking to hire an agency, I wouldn't go with the biggest agency.
Okay.
Purely because at a big agency level, the guys on the ground floor are dealing with heaps of clients.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So one person doing SEO for that agency will be doing it for 100 different companies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah, one of the biggest things have changed over the years, but back in the day, the biggest thing was actually getting all the reports out.
Oh, wow.
Because reports then became automated, and then businesses don't like seeing automated reports either.
Okay.
So that's the thing. The bigger the agency, look at the amount of people on that team.
Yeah, okay.
That's the first thing.
Okay.
If they're a huge agency and they only have one Google Ads specialist, I wouldn't say it's a red flag, but think about how many that person might be dealing with 50 to 100 clients.
Right.
And how much time based on your budget do they actually have to spend on there? The thing is that a lot of companies are going in-house. A lot of companies are looking for boutique agencies.
Yeah.
Purely because of the fact that it's quite often good to also engage in specialists who are able to manage your account also, because depending on the agency you're dealing with, you give the budget over, there's a lot of work involved. There's the onboarding. There is the coordination of gathering the assets. Let's say you're building a website. You get the person building the website. You get the manager who's overseeing that. So there's a lot of hours that get put together. At the end of the day, I shouldn't use website development. Let's use SEO. At the end of the day, how many hours is actually being spent a month on your website?
Right.
And the thing is that, there's, you get that aspect. Quite often, most businesses are prepared to take that route also, purely because they just don't have the time to do it themselves.
Yeah.
You can't do everything. You can't be the social media specialist. You can't be the Google Ads specialist. It's going to take you. It's one thing learning. So the learning is is really important, but it also takes experience to get the results that you're looking for.
Okay. So number one is the size. You wouldn't go with the big.
It all depends on, firstly, your budget, what your expectations are, what your key performance indicators are.
Yeah.
One of the things is that I could put a whole bunch of, when I interview potential employees or contractors, I don't want to know about your qualifications.
Yeah.
I don't want to see charts either.
Okay.
I want you to show me what you've actually done for a client.
Yeah.
From A to Z.
Yeah. Because firsthand that the education you can't always apply to get results.
Yeah.
It's a technical experience in the results, the tangible results that you look for.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I also work with a company called Digital Cut Media Solutions. And the craziest thing was that because of that, me and my associates at Digital Cut Media, at one stage, we were actually going to set up a marketing auditing firm.
Wow.
To audit other agencies.
Wow.
Because seriously, there's a huge trend, for example, of agencies out there subcontracting to places like the Philippines, like having employees. It's great. It's great to have employees in other countries and that. We've been through that. The quality of the service is not always good. The language barriers, the understanding of the culture, and I'm not saying that countries like the Philippines, for example, or Thailand, they don't have amazing digital marketing specialists. It's just that the joke is that during COVID, in many of these places, everybody with a laptop became a digital marketing specialist.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's quite interesting when not every agency subcontracts. Yeah. But over the years, you see the quality of work, you pick it up immediately. You pick it up.
Wow.
Simple thing, like if you look at, take an Australian business, for example, you'll pick it up immediately in the ad copy, in the advertising, just the simple, whether they're using American spellings versus Australian English. Those little things that you pick up. And then also just, language barrier is sometimes
Wow. So fascinating. So I will link Clinton's details below in the show notes. Is there anything else you want to add?
There's nothing to add at this point, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Well, the thing is I'd like to add is that you can do it yourself. Like, I'd say you can do many aspects yourself, but it's a matter of balancing out. Do you have the time to do it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want to?
Do you have the care factor to do it?
Things change so much. I look at like I look at Google alone, the amount, I've never seen so many algorithm changes happen in an entire year.
Really?
More changes in the last 12 months in Google in terms of, if I take SEO algorithms, more changes in the last year than I've seen in the last 5 years.
Why do you reckon that is?
They're making it more and more difficult. Firstly, there's this big fight against misinformation.
Yeah.
There's also, so not just Google embracing AI,
Okay.
but the other thing within AI is also the reproduction of, of information which is not accurate.
Right.
That's why I take social media. Facebook is huge on like that. It's more difficult to run ads for plastic surgeons in Facebook than what it is in Google Ads.
Because of the compliance?
Because of the compliance, because like there's just so many other aspects.
Yeah.
So yeah, coming back to, if you're able to do Google Ads, great, and you're able to, but it evolves so much all the time. It's changing literally currently, I wouldn't even say monthly basis.
Okay.
Like it happens so often. Like we see when, for example, online's presence drops in a day and it's already indicating that Google's busy with something. They're always refining it. You ask me why they're doing this. If you look at SEO, really Google is making these ranking factors more and more difficult because they want to provide quality information to their users. But the bigger picture is they'll make it more difficult. If it was so easy, then people would not have to rely on Google Ads.
Okay.
And that's the change is they do want you to spend money on Google Ads.
Of course.
They want to help you make money. Yeah. And when you make that money, they want to help you spend more money with them.
Of course.
And that's one of the reasons.
That makes sense. Well, thank you so much, Clinton.
Yeah.
And if you guys want him, if you guys are interested in getting in touch with Clinton for SEO, for website building, for Google Ads, for Facebook and Instagram ads as well.
We also have an all-in-one platform where, there's various aspects. It's one thing when you're doing a website. It's another thing when you're marketing it. And then you go into the back end of the website and you're looking at like, oh my goodness, I take a website like WordPress, which is a great platform to use for marketing, for building your website. The only problem is not quite often, I'll take WordPress for an example. It has heaps of little third-party, what we call plugins. Yeah. So integrating this with your CRM, whether you're using HubSpot, and integrating this with that, and including, there's so much ongoing maintenance in terms of the upkeeping of that website that we've got a software platform called Clevo, which integrates, you could say, thousands literally on your CRM, on what you spend on various aspects that you would normally when you build a website. So it's an all-in-one platform. You find everything like
so it basically will host your course, it will build funnels, it can host your website, it'll do email automations, it can do the ManyChat automations, like any automation. It's all in one.
And it's all in one place. There's nothing more annoying, like most of us, and when you're logging in here and you're logging in there and you're logging it's an all-in-one platform. It's super evolving. It's super efficient.
Yes.
You could build your own websites you could host your own online courses. If I told you the amount of features that Clevo has,
it's its own episode in and of itself.
It's an episode by itself.
Yeah, amazing. So Clevo is available for people now.
Yeah.
So we can link Clevo below as well.
Sure. Clevo.io.
Beautiful. We will do that. Easy. Thank you for being on the podcast, Clinton.
Thank you, Sarah.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening today, beautiful soul. I hope you got so much gold and were activated in such a way that you could step into your highest timeline of abundance and freedom, because it is more than possible for you. If that desire has been planted in your soul, it is so deliberate. If you wouldn't mind, please rate, review, subscribe to this podcast so that we can get this message into the hearts and ears of more amazing light beings across the world. I would love to continue this conversation with you, so feel free to get in touch on Instagram at sarah.tynan.quantumcoach. If you're a Facebook person, you can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Sarah Tynan International. And please don't ever forget, if your desire is there, it's because your destiny is there too. You just have to remember who you are. Bye for now, beautiful.